We're back here again. One Piece chapter 1116. It's crazy. Before the chapter came out, I was like, yo, we're getting on a consistent schedule again. One Piece is coming out more frequently. We don't have to worry about breaks. I was getting happy. Well, we're on break next week, but we're not going to focus on the negatives because there's so much positives happening in this chapter. And so that's what we're going to focus on. One Piece chapter 1116. Said it already, didn't say the title though. Conflict. Cover story. Yamato. Pilgrimage continues, and now Kinemon sends her to his baby mama. Actually, I don't think they have kids together. His wife, they're married. Otsuru, she has a scar and stuff. So like, she's been through a lot. She had to wait there for him that entire time. She's a real one. Shout out to Otsuru. I'm going to talk about the pilgrimage later because I think it's going to be important going forward. So I will talk about it. Just checking the boxes. Everybody that she's going to meet going through, they're important, but it's going somewhere. Now, the chapter, because it was a doozy. It wasn't a break week one, because the break week ones we expect, right? No words, but it wasn't quite that. But man, it's making us think, even though it's regurgitating information that I think we should already know, readers that are tapped in, because all the readers don't really, they're like, I know some of this stuff. But for a lot of the diehards, pretty much everything Vegapunk said, or at least you surmised a lot of what he said. But the chapter begins. People are panicking. World-sinking weapons? What are you talking about? Vegapunk, you are lying to me. Not really the focus. The focus in the first page is Emu. Emu staring at Nefertari Lily, right? Looks just like Vivi. More than likely, that's Lily. Is he staring at Lily like that because they're former lovers? What's the meaning behind this stare? Were they allies at one point? What's the entire purpose behind it? Because I'm thinking, do they just have pictures of all the former kings or royalty? Just a bit weird. Large picture. See, people are calling Emu a simp. I was like, how, just one picture? It is a big picture though, because if I had a big picture like that in my house, people be like, yo, are you obsessed? What's wrong with you? But Emu blames Nefertari Lily for a lot of what's happened. So we're going to find out a lot more about Lily because she seems to be the central figure in this. And it's funny that she recently got introduced. We found out about Lily being a character and who she is. And so it does beg the question, what is the connection? What is the reason? It's there for a reason, obviously, right? A picture of Lily in your home. Got Lily, got Luffy, got Joy Boy, got Zunisha. That could just be a picture, just a room of the ops. But right now, eyebrow raised. Okay, eyebrow raised, Emu. I'm not sure what's going on here, but I am really interested to find out more about Lily. Somebody did say, yo, what if Lily and Toki were part of Joy Boy's crew? They were like Nami and Robin. It was like, what if Lily is an ancestor of Nami? Who knows? Then that would mean that Vivi and Nami are related. We don't know anything about Nami's lineage. Time will tell. But it's leading to interesting theories, to say the least. It's no surprise as well that Oda gave us like a rundown of the Nefertari allies and people from the Nefertari family that would care about Vivi. And everybody's kind of mourning because Cobra's dead and Vivi's missing. We see Emu, we see Lily, we see Vivi, we see Cobra, we see Igaram, we see Pell, right? Pell's still alive. What's the connection you're making here? Is Vivi just as important as Lily was back then? Could Vivi be the spark plug? Because something that we used to talk about in the past was the two sovereigns meeting. And it was like, okay, obviously it's Shirahoshi and Luffy, but what if it isn't? What if it's Luffy and Vivi? And also Vivi was one of those posters that Emu had. So her importance is not just surface level. It could be that Emu wants Vivi around again because he had feelings for Lily. He just wants to see Vivi because she looks just like Lily. Who knows? Clearly Vivi's going to be really important towards the end game of the story. I think it's just evident. Vegapunk had the character development that I love, that I have been waiting for, because I've been critical of the guy because I'm like, yo, you're being very ignorant to the things that you've caused, the things that you're responsible for. Yeah. In the sake of science, I'm just a science guy. What do you mean? That's the play. That's what's been happening throughout, right? And like, yo, Vegapunk, you got to answer for your crimes. In this chapter, he's just laying them out and saying, yo, I'm responsible. I mean, he said the mother flame got stolen. You know who stole it? You did. Everything is literally Vegapunk's fault, but he's taking accountability. He's taking ownership for all these things that's gone wrong, even in the sake of progression in science. And he's trying to be better or do better for the world, which I genuinely think he was. But I think he was honestly overlooking all the possible adverse effects because, yo, the world government, they sponsor stuff. And so it is what it is. Even him creating the satellites, creating something like York to make your work easier and work faster and basically do all the stuff that you don't have the time to do. You incorporated that knowing the possible adverse effects, because my theory is that York pretty much hinted towards it, that Vegapunk knew all along that York could possibly betray him based on the nature of what he created. So he had steps in place, but it's just like Vegapunk, all of it happened though, and it led to basically an eradication of an entire country. Yeah, a lot of people are going to forgive you because of who you are and the good that you've done in the world. But for the people that lost people in Lucia, like, they don't have the obligation to do that. This was because of you through and through. And so I love this chapter because it's finally acknowledging and accepting it. Yes, you're dead. So he does it in death, before death, obviously, but he does it in death. Just want to clarify, I don't think he's dead, but it's still, bro, it's you. So him owning up to all that, bravo, bravo. I really liked that he did that. This seems to be a morality chapter where we're starting to question the morality of characters and think about actions of certain characters. This chapter is littered with that. Starts with Vegapunk, obviously, and it gets to Stussy and Kaku. And Edison is basically telling Stussy that the fact that you still care about Kaku and those guys and the time you spent with them, it proves that they are your friends and also that you are human. Because for a clone, I'm sure it's like, I'm subservient to Vegapunk. I'm placed on this earth for a reason to follow him. So me making these connections and liking these people is because I have to. There's no Vegapunk and I gotta live in your purpose. Oh crap, I still like them. I don't want them to die. I'm not going to say Kaku redemption because I don't think Kaku stops following Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci himself was questioning the world government. I see Rob Lucci and Kaku being friends throughout the rest of the story, but Stussy also being along with them because they understand duty, right? And doing something that you probably don't want to do, but you kind of have to. Maybe Rob Lucci might not forgive her, but Kaku is going to be like, hey, hold on. If it wasn't for her, I'd be dead. The morality of such, of like doing what you need to do, doing what you have to do because, you know, your creator asked you, and then going forward as a person. I really like that moment because Stussy is humanizing her, because I think after she was revealed to be a clone, I kind of stopped looking at her as a person intentionally. That was the whole point of it. I was like, okay, what's next for her? Is she just a tool? Is she just gonna die here? I like Edison giving her the option. Edison, low key, one of the low key characters in this arc that's been intricate. And a lot of things happening, moving and shaking. So again, Kaku, I don't think this is a redemption arc for him or anything. He's going to be the same guy that he's been, but he's always had a jolly nature. And he's always been one of the more likable CP9 agents, now CP0. So Kagu's not going to change in the eyes of the people. I think he's still a liked character. And he's just going to be like, yo, I'm here, I'm doing my job, but I can still have fun, right? When he pulled up to Egghead, he's like, yo, what's going on? This island is amazing. So he has just that type of vibe, but he's just a CP9 agent, CP0 agent. So it is what it is. You got to make a decision. Vegapunk is forcing people to make a decision by all the information he's releasing right now. He's telling you that Lelouch got blown up. Everybody's like, wait, what? Imagine where you live, right? Imagine somewhere you live and then them telling you a country close by got blown up. I'm on a broadcast like, oh, Hawaii gone. I'm like, wait, what? I don't really have or know people on Hawaii, but it's still like Hawaii's gone. But think about the people who have family in Hawaii. I'll be honest, I'm not checking to see if Hawaii's there every day, ever, to be honest. I wouldn't know. So like, if you tell me something like that I'm not paying attention to, oh, Lelouch is gone. I'm like, what the hell do you mean Lelouch is gone? Go check. You have Elizabello saying, yo, go make sure Lelouch is there. Go call my auntie. I got an auntie Lelouch. Just go make sure she's there real quick, because is he bugging? Because that's going to add to the more credibility for Vegapunk, because if Lelouch is gone, which it is, they're like, oh shit, he wasn't lying. This does lead to more interesting stuff. Again, we know about this stuff. The revelations that are the ancient weapons, right? And Momonosuke, it's like, so I talk about Pluton, and Kinmon's like, yeah. Not right now. Shout out to Tama being there as well. Being Kibidango. The ancient weapons, they exist. All three of them. And we see Crocodile. We see the reaction from Momonosuke, and we see Crocodile. The theory that's been bubbling up is that Cross Guild goes to try to retrieve Pluton. We know Crocodile, that's been one of his things that he's been focused on, that we were introduced to Crocodile in the midst of a mission like that with the ancient weapons. The look on his face kind of signifies like, oh crap, now everybody knows about this, but it's almost like, I'm not crazy. Like, I knew this was a thing. This existed. It's affirmation, validation. And so for him, he's like, yeah, we're going after this. So the Cross Guild to Wano, I'm not mad at. There's a Blackbeard to Wano pathway that is also plausible. We're going to talk about those two pathways during this break week. I know I don't want to just keep piling that on you, but it's happening. All right. And we just got to get through it together. But I have questions. Because one of my questions is like, why was Joy Boy so adamant on passing down the ancient weapons? Like, they're not good tools necessarily. In the wrong hands, obviously they're devastating, clearly. Why did you want to pass them down? Like, whatever power you were going up against, were they so devastating that they needed ancient weapons? Did you have the ancient weapons? Was that something that you had to accomplish? Were you just a part of the prophecy? It's starting to put in a perspective like, okay, did everybody else just have a goal or purpose and it all led to Luffy? Why the ancient weapons so important? Because if we're assuming that Joy Boy fought with the ancient kingdom, like a lot of people are, we would assume they had the ancient weapons, but it seems like Jorbo just wants to pass down the ancient weapons. So like with his goal, it's like, okay, so if he wanted to pass down the ancient weapons, you had Lily who wanted to pass down the poneglyphs. There's someone like Toki who wanted to pass down a message. Everybody was playing a role and a purpose basically to get to the point that where we are now, right? Because Vegapunk is asking the question, like, why would you pass it down? Like, the whole point should be to get rid of it. Hasn't the world sunk enough? But it's just like, it has to be for a reason. Is it something that has to be destroyed by the ancient weapons that's going to bring the world back to where it was? The red line? I don't know. I do like that Vegapunk is trying to remain neutral here by saying, hey, the ambiguity of it, because Joy Boy was the one that's trying to pass down the ancient weapons, these devastating weapons that can destroy things like Lucia. This ambiguity, it makes it difficult to see who was good and who was evil. I mean, we go off of what's going on right now. You look at the world government, they're like, of course they're evil. We need more context. I'm leaning towards them being evil, but I need more context with this. Here's where Vegapunk just throws people under the bus, and I'm not mad at it. It's just like, yeah, I can't tell if Sengoku knows anything, or is he like panicking because he didn't know as a fleet admiral. I would assume he knows a bit because he doesn't know about the Will of D and stuff like that. So he knows a bit, but does he know about everything Vegapunk was talking about? It'll be difficult for me to believe that, considering Sengoku and somewhat his morality. It just doesn't seem like somebody like him would know something like that and still do the things that he did. But who knows? He was stress eating. Is he stress eating from the fact that guilt is starting to bother him because Vegapunk is revealing all this? Here's what I go back to. What's the point? Does he need to know? Because when we think about the Celestial Dragons, the Gorosei and the Marines, do they need to know? It's a need to know basis. We don't respect you. Are they going to tell Sengoku just because he became the fleet admiral? No. Why does it matter to you what we did back in the past? The ancient weapons, ancient kingdom, Emu. That doesn't matter to you. Just take care of the Marines. Listen to what we say. Send the admirals when we want them. So I'm thinking Sengoku's finding out information now. I think he knew a little bit. Finding out now. I would love to see Garp's reaction. Where Garp is like, bro. Well, shit. Vegapunk and what he says implies that the people after knew, because right after he said those who knows what happens in its entirety, it goes to Akainu. So like while you're reading, you're like, okay, Akainu, that makes sense. He's a fleet admiral, but Akainu, what he says, he's like, yo, Vegapunk, you're going to explain everything. Some people read it as Vegapunk, you're going to explain everything. I'm like, yeah, there's no question mark there. So I'm really looking forward to the official translations on Sunday, but how he reads it, it's like, nah, Vegapunk, when I get my hand on you, you're going to explain everything, because he is pissed. He's hot, pun intended. Vegapunk the bomb, because when I was reacting, I was like, okay, shit. Okay, Vegapunk, we're here. He says the people that really know everything that happened is, yeah, the former members of the Pirate King's crew. They know everything. Them the ones. And it goes to Crocus and Lucy Laboon. And it goes to Rayleigh. I'm like, oh crap. Morality. Because it's making you question, okay, if you guys knew all about this, why are you just sitting not doing anything while the world literally is getting destroyed? Why are you not doing anything, Roger Pirates? Are you good or are you bad? It begs the question, man. It begs the question. It's turning your perceptions on his head, because it's like pirates knowing the secrets of the world is actually making the world a safer place, because they're exposing everything that's going on. But quickly on exposing, it seems like that's just one step. What York talks about though, because York is shocked about everything that's going on. You know, Oda's really, and I think he's done an amazing job of it in Egghead, where it's such subtle hints, nothing is definitive. And he's done a good job throughout the story, obviously, from the beginning. Where things are subtle, it's not as defined. There's sometimes where things are just obvious, like Hiyori and Kumasaki. And then he had subtle things like Kamazo and Killer. So he can do both, where it's just like, I can just let you know it's in your face right away. And it's like, I'm going to drip it out, drip feed it real quick. With York, she's like, wait, how would you know all that? How would you know about me stealing a fragment of the Mother Flame? Because this is before it was used, or after it was used, before you died. And it's like, I cut out the memory synchronization. She's losing her mind as to like how this is possible. Because York, again, everything should be synchronized. She should know everything that's going on with all the other punks. I'm assuming Stella had a backup feed. So no matter if she cut the synchronization, Stella is always going to know what the other punks do. Stella's like, okay, you know, that's her nature. It is what it is. And then he made contingency plans after that. For York, she's just one of the punks. That's Stella. So of course she's trying to rationalize everything that's going on, but at the end of the day, she is a punk. She does think similarly to him, and she knows his tendencies. So off of that, just doubling back and thinking back to everything that's going on, she's like, we figured that she would find out, but I wonder if she has a change of heart as she continues to think. Can she go against her nature? At this point, do they need York? The Mother Flame is right there. They know how to use it. They didn't trust Vegapunk because he kept constantly backstabbing them. York wants to be a Celestial Dragon. They could just string her along because that's what she wants. And it's like, they're not going to make her a Celestial Dragon, obviously. And she's a punk. So I think they're always going to look at her as that. But man, I mean, Stella, everything he's saying is happening, and it seems like he's just prophesizing all this stuff. And so even York is taken aback from it. But yeah, something we talked about, not blatantly, but just like different parts of like where the snail could be. It's hiding in the Iron Giant. One of the Iron Giant, that was a part that we talked about when we were streaming the last time, as far as like it being within the Iron Giant. Like that made a lot of sense considering like what it was and how stellar, how obscure he thought. So that was cool that was confirmed, and she figured it out. So you're gonna have to take down the Iron Giant to get to the broadcast. And the Iron Giant, it is ancient tech. I'm not sure if you have the facilities to do that, young man. You know, so it goes again to the Roger Pirates, and then it fades into Rayleigh drinking himself into a drunken stupor with Shocky. But Rayleigh's at a point, and Shocky's saying, "Yo, you rarely ever get this wasted. Like, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I mean, I don't know, but like Vegapunk is saying too much." I was talking about like exposing, was like, what do you mean he's saying too much? Like, I go back to Professor Clover. Everybody has a right to history. That's everybody's right. But for Rayleigh, he's not saying it that way. He's saying, let's not take that away from the youngsters, right? The thrill is theirs to seek now. Right, Roger? Bro, what? That's my initial thought. An entire country got wiped away. Thrill? But then it's like, what if they couldn't do anything? What if no matter what Rayleigh did, this was inevitable? For him, he's like, maybe the prophecy, whatever he found at Laugh Tale, because they found out about it at Laugh Tale. Roger laughed. Whatever it was, it let them know that they were not the ones that were supposed to do this stuff. Now, Rayleigh is looking at it from a fantastical, captivating adventure. This is what piracy is all about. It's just kind of hard in the moment considering what Lucia was and what could happen with the world, what will happen seemingly with Vegapunk sinking underwater. Inevitably, I think there would be a way to correct all this, which is more than likely destroying something and then the waters kind of settle. But for Rayleigh, he's looking at it from a fantastical standpoint where it's just like, well, I told them I would tell them. They didn't want to know, but they're going to come to their own conclusion. Let them come to the conclusion, especially the one that is Joy Boy, the new Joy Boy. That is the one that's going to bring forth the dawn. So Rayleigh is just kind of letting things go with the flow, but he's also setting it up where it's like he has his hands all over the future. Shanks as well, when you think about it. And I think Rayleigh told Shanks about what happened in Laugh Tale, what they found out. And Shanks came to his own conclusion. And that's the thing where like Rayleigh, even Crocodile, positioned himself in a place where it's like, I can somewhat filter out these pirates. Really, I'm at Saboti, I'm coding ships. Everybody's gonna need to code ships to get to Fishman Island for the most part. I'm in a place where I can directly affect the future. And he made it even more direct by his involvement with Luffy, training him, saving him. So Rayleigh's doing all he can. I'm interested in like, do we get any reactions from any of the other Roger Pirates? Will they ever become relevant in the story? I don't know. But I'm not gonna hold this against Rayleigh and be like, yo, why didn't you join the Straw Hat crew and try to... He's had his time. Whatever Vegapunk is revealing is some of it, because Vegapunk didn't read all the poneglyphs. Read the Elbaf library, but there's still information that Vegapunk doesn't know. The Roger Pirates currently, they still know more than Vegapunk. So there is pertinent information that's still being left out on purpose. But the whole point of this was to look at Rayleigh sideways, look at Croca sideways, look at Vegapunk sideways, look at Kaku. It's questioning everybody's morality. And then even you have Emu and Lily is like, were they a thing? Were they like, you're questioning it, right? So it's a chapter that it has me going back to reread different chapters, different moments in the story. I'm like, did I miss something? What is Oda trying to tell us? What is he trying to show here with the Roger Pirates? And so I think a very necessary chapter, a chapter to make us consider allies, foes, etc. So I genuinely can't wait for the next chapter. I was gonna say next week's chapter, but it's not next week. So yeah, One Piece chapter 1116. How did you feel about it? Let me know. Like the video, subscribe. More stuff on the way. We got to talk about Joy Boy, his possible alliances, his possible foes, everything we know. What all do we know about Joy Boy at this point? Let's compile them. But man, I love it. I love it.